Well, I bet you're wondering why the Marvelous One is doing an Impact review. Well, probably because I haven't done one in quite a while, and main reason being is that I haven't been interested in the product that much, to be perfectly honest with you. But now with Hulk Hogan gone and Brooke Hogan is gone, Eric Bischoff is gone, and things like that, I'm decided to give it another chance. And so that's kind of why I'm doing a review this week. So with that being said, I will start on my review now. Do you know who I am? Yeah, I know who the hell you are, Bully Ray. Shut the hell up. But this Aces and Eights storyline, God, how long has this been going on? What has this been, about a year and a half now? And it's still going on? I mean, granted, there's only 3 members left. I mean, it's just Bully Ray. Oh, I suppose if you count Taz on commentary, Bully Ray and Nux and Garrett Bischoff. But so they start off the show, and evidently there's going to be a match next week. No DQ with Bully Ray against Mr. Anderson. And speaking of Mr. Anderson, the time was a couple years ago when I still like this guy. And it's like, but in the last couple of years, God, they haven't really given me a reason to give a shit about him. And so so therefore I really haven't. But so next week's match, there's going to be a couple stipulations in there. Anderson comes out there, and evidently it's going to be Anderson's career up against the fate of Aces and Eights. Can we get an end to this storyline, please? I will fucking root for Mr. Anderson hard in this match. Please let this be the end of Aces and Eights. Please. Well, the opening segment then set up a match between Mr. Anderson and Nux. I guess he who got volunteered for duty in this, and it's like this match just kind of was what it was. Anderson wins with the mic check out of nowhere. And since I've done my last review, they started doing this Impact 365 thing, where they show different videos of different wrestlers and kind of in their normal everyday life, I guess. But they showed the video. They showed a couple of different videos. One with Joseph Park. I guess the best has gone away again for a while. Who knows where he is? And show a video with Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. Oh man, Bad Influence to me is the most entertaining group, if you will, in TNA, bar none. I mean, there's nobody else that compares. But no, those videos were done last week, and so I kind of set up the match tonight between Christopher Daniels and Joseph Park, who's had problems with the Bad Influence in recent weeks. But match is okay, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't think it would take Daniels to hit Park with a low blow to pick up the victory, but I guess it's a case of this being is what it is. Okay, one of the new characters that has been on TNA that's just debuted recently was Ethan Carter III, or EC3, a guy who's supposed to be the nephew of TNA President Dixie Carter. Oh, I kind of like this guy, actually. He kind of reminds me of a Gino Hernandez type. He doesn't look like him so much, but he's got kind of the same mannerisms, and he's kind of got his little catchphrase. No, granted, it's not "I am your champion." It's not anything like that, but he's a Carter, and the world needs us. I kind of something like what Taz brought up. He's kind of like the one percenter, But Oh, this handicap match tonight between weighing in at a total combined weight of 310 pounds. We got Dewey Cox and Norv Turner. No, I guess no, that's not it. But it is pretty close. Dewey Barnes and Norv Turner. Yeah, it's kind of funny with their members only jackets. That they look like they got them out of 1985, and oh my god, Norv Burnham can't weigh more than 135 pounds, can he? Seriously, but I guess they're starting another undefeated streak. He's like what 9-0, or is he 8-0? It doesn't really matter. EC3 is still undefeated. So then your 1 hour main event segment is a promo from Dixie Carter. And one thing, ever since she's made this heel turn to being this, talking like this Southern Belle and calling people darling and this and that, it's actually kind of a good character. She actually has something to her instead of just being this bland baby face. But right before the break, they showed a clip of AJ Styles driving away in that car that she was going to give him, and driving away with the TNA title. They showed a clip of him defending the title in Mexico for AAA, and against Judas Macias, who ironically used to wrestle for TNA. But this thing with AJ Styles that they got going on, this is what WWE should have done 2 years ago with CM Punk when he took the title and when his contract was up. Instead, they brought him back in 8 days. No, I like what they're doing here with AJ Styles and him taking the title down to Mexico to defend it in TNA. Hell, maybe he could go to ROH or something and defend it there, or maybe he can defend it at Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore show or something like that. But what she's doing, they got this World Heavyweight Championship tournament set up. Last week you had the match between Jeff Hardy and Chris Sabin, Full Metal Mayhem. I have not even watched all that match, but what the highlights I have seen, it looks pretty damn freaking good. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it later on, but then you got the two matches she sets up: Bobby Roode against Cowboy James Storm in a bull rope match, and then Samoa Joe and Magnus, two former members of the Main Event Mafia, going in and Falls Count Anywhere. Joe gets to talking. Dixie calls her TNA original. Well, sort of. He wasn't there from the beginning. He didn't come to TNA until 2005. But it's nice he has a little shoot element to his promo when he's talking to her, talking about her bad business decisions and that. But that was a good, nice little element to that promo, which was really good. And Magnus talking about the spirit of competition. So overall, I thought that was a pretty good segment, and you're setting up a couple more matches for Turning Point next week. But not everything in TNA is good. In fact, a lot of things in TNA haven't been good lately. But one segment that really hasn't been any good lately is the Knockout division. And you just had to put the title back on Gail Kim now, didn't you? Oh, you're the oldest Knockout you have in the company, and you're putting the title back on her. And not only that, you're copying from WWE. I mean, sometimes that's all well and good that you're doing that, but once you're oldest Knockout and you're copying something from them, basically what they're doing is, somebody in that company obviously watches WWE's product because, they see AJ leave it to Tamina Snuka, so oh, we're just gonna stick our oldest knockout with Lady Tapa. What? Why stick Lady Tapa with Gail Kim? I mean, seriously. I mean, if you're gonna stick Lady Tapa with somebody, why not stick her with Brooke Tessmacher? Brooke Tessmacher, who, I mean, quite honestly, she's a whole hell of a lot hotter than Gail Kim, and I like her a hell of a lot better. Gail Kim I cannot fucking stand, and that is a shoot. Although her husband's television show, Restaurant Impossible, is pretty dang good, I'm not gonna lie. But she's got this open challenge out to anybody that's not in the TNA roster or whatever. So she defended the title against Hannah Blossom, who was part of that British boot camp, but I'm really hoping this will lead to something down the line where, hell, maybe Awesome Kong will come back, Karma, maybe she'll come back to TNA or somebody like that, or maybe cheerleader Melissa will come back to TNA or something. I don't know. So we get another segment from Joseph Park, but this time he's laying on an open challenge for Turning Point next week against his brother Abyss. I'd like to see how they pull this off. This could be really interesting. It might be the best match on Turning Point. You never know. All right, then you got to your main event segment, which is the submission match between Kurt Angle and Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived, in one of the quarterfinal matches of the World Title Tournament. And what I did like, what they did earlier to set this up, they showed the little clips where Kurt Angle's talking about being in a submission match, and same goes with a double. They both gave their thoughts on it, and then later on they showed clips of them winning their respective world titles for the first time in TNA. I thought that was very good as well. But as far as the match went, it was kind of, to me, it was kind of slow at first. Then it just kind of picked up towards the end of it. Then Bobby Roode pulling up a chair out at the top of the ramp area and watching the match, and because Angle and Roode have had their issues here in recent weeks. But one thing about this match I thought was really telling about it is that Angle ends up getting the submission on a double with the crossface of all things. He didn't do it with the ankle lock. He did it with one of Roode's holds, Just kind of sending a message to him. So I'm guessing what's going to end up happening here is we're going to get another match between Roode and Angle in the tournament final. So if that's what they're leaning towards, then hell, that can be a good thing. And then to end the show, you get Mr. Anderson dragging Garrett Bischoff out to the stage after he attacked him in the backstage area earlier and had him handcuffed, and he was sitting there back there drinking a beer. And then, kind of a little bit of poetic justice, he kind of did to Bischoff what Bully Ray did to him when he took his cut from Ace and Eights and gave him a pile driver on the stage. So it's just another thing to set up next week's, I would assume, would be the main event of Turning Point. So yeah, could be interesting. Well, Impact Wrestling still has some problems, especially with their knockout division, but overall, I thought this show was actually pretty decent. It's the first full Impact that I've sat through in probably at least 2 months, if not 3. But if this keeps up, the way this world title tournament's going on, and then obviously you got to think the winner's gonna face off against AJ Styles for the right to be the undisputed TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It's a good thing that they're keeping AJ off TV for a while until this tournament gets over. I'm thinking maybe the maybe the unification title will be at Genesis or something. But as far as like the special stipulations on these matches, I don't think it's really necessary. But I guess it's just making them more interesting, I guess. But anyway, hey, I'm Marvelous Mark, and who knows? I may do this next week. Who knows?